Hey Tankers, and welcome back to World of Tanks with PR154, and today we're following KillerJuliet of the VAM clan in the premium Tier 8 French light tank ELC even 90. This is one of the most popular vehicles to acquire during the tank trade-in, because quite often if you've got like an underperforming Tier 8 premium heavy and you want to exchange it, usually you can exchange it for an equivalent amount of gold that allows you to actually buy the ELC even 90 outright. I think it comes in quite cheap at about 3,800 gold if you just buy this off the tech tree. Now KillerJuliet's got a job here to do today. LT-9 Hawkeye for the T55A. The primary condition is to spot 4 enemy vehicles, and he's got the perfect vehicle and the perfect position to do that. He spotted 1, 2, 3, just picking them all up as they make this cross, and that's 4. So primary mission complete, to spot 4 enemy vehicles while remaining unspotted. So very nicely done there. Of course, there are secondary conditions. There's always secondary conditions. So completion with honours, he needs to win and it needs to survive. But he's gotten the team off to a great start so far. He's been able to collect nearly 2,700 hit points of spot assist. So that's going to be sort of wearing down on the ability of the enemy team to make war. Just looking around, however, the number of guns behind him is starting to evaporate, and I guess in an ELC even 90 you don't necessarily want to be relying on your own gun in most of these sorts of situations. But let's talk about what's good about the ELC even 90. It other than being quite cost effective for a premium tank, as we discussed earlier, it also has the highest concealment rating of any Tier 8 light tank. That's even higher than the EBR 75 FL10, which has quite a high concealment rating, largely owing to its size. But this thing, I don't even think it's a tank. I think that's more of a tankette. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where they draw the line on that one. But in any case, the vehicle's tiny and it has the concealment rating to suit. Its view range of 380 meters is certainly not the best, but those vehicles that start to get the peak base view range of 410 meters, that tends to be tempered by a lower concealment rating. So I guess it all works out in the end, and I guess 380 meters of view range is quite adequate given the your concealment rating of, or base concealment rating of over 22.5%. So that's quite attractive. Now they appear to be a gun down against the enemy team. They're still roughly equal on hit points. There's probably a few enemy vehicles that made that early cross that had a few chunks taken out of them. Or maybe not. Maybe they're slipping away now. So I guess KillerJuliet couldn't really hang out towards the back of the map all game. He does have to get in and start doing a bit more of an active contribution. This is possibly a questionable push direction, in that he's kind of ended up in between either side of the enemy remnant. Fortunately, a bit of a rock between himself and the SU-101, and that's sort of cleared out that the JK line, and the friendly team's able to now push through. We're trying to keep eyes on and draw beads on the enemy team as they that have been sort of bottled up near the bridge area, and they're still picking up the spotting damage. A very nice 679 picked up from a meaty hit into the T32. Looking to draw a bead on that, but not quite coming into frame. Of course, it's likely it's the Object 430 that's I guess proximity spotting T32 at this point in time. Moving around the corner, there's still, last we saw, quite a few enemy vehicles still locked up in that bridge area. What have we got? A VZ55, which is the Tier 10 Czech heavy. Because bearing in mind, KillerJuliet is bottom tiered, 10s over 8s. So And that's always a great place to be, particularly if you're trying to complete light tank missions that rely on spotting. ELC even 90 is a great place to do it because you do have the potential to collect a hell of a lot of hit points of spotting assist just through the sheer size of the hit point pool once you get tier 10s in the mix. Now, KillerJuliet's team now has a 2-gun advantage. They're still roughly equal on hit points. There's some heavy hitters that have really been able to make themselves count. Have a look at the map here. This E100's in a bit of a dangerous position, potentially in a crossfire here between 3 different tanks. But I guess the C75 TS and VZ55 are probably a little bit more concerned about what's in front of them. So they're backing up the Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger. Now we do have a 3-shot autoloader, 90mm, which is quite adequate as a finishing tool. Arguably, the reload on this is quite long, and that can impact your overall damage per minute. I'll just remind myself, what do we have on ELC even 90 for damage per minute? Yeah, 1,152. So that's quite on the low side, and that's largely owing to landing 220 hit points per shot, and it's taking you typically about 30 seconds to reload. Now, unless of course you're running a Brothers in Arms crew or improved ventilation, there's probably not too many other avenues on this vehicle to enhance your reload. Because gun rammer doesn't really do much for you on an autoloader. But I guess what you get is quite a nice end game killing capability with this tank, and that's something you can employ when you've got the field cleared. But we can appreciate why KillerJuliet might be playing this a little bit timidly, given that survival was an honest condition, but he's managed to do that quite well, just simply by playing to the role of the vehicle. Let's take a look at those results. Okay, what replays is actually down at the time of recording, so we're going to have to be a little bit creative here. Fortunately, KillerJuliet had the foresight to send us through their victory screen, so that's going to make life a hell of a lot easier for us here. Broadly speaking, this wasn't a stellar result from an experience point of view, but he read the mission, he played to the mission, picked up that primary condition, and then played to essentially win and survive through the rest of the battle. So very well done there. For his efforts, he's picked up the Battle Heroes Medal PatrolDuty, which is awarded when you spot at least 6 enemy vehicles, or enable allies to cause damage to at least 6 enemy vehicles that you've spotted. And the key to that is you also have to be the only vehicle that had eyes on the target at the time that the damage was inflicted. So very indicative of light tank roleplay there. He's also picked up the Spotter Badge of Merit here, and that's awarded for causing at least 1,000 assist damage to enemy vehicles, which in this case he's absolutely smashed that. Over 4,500 assist damage applied to the enemy team this time around. Having a look at the team score, he has placed 3rd on experience overall, with T110E4 taking top honours with over 7,600 damage inflicted on the enemy, so very well done there. Special mention on the enemy team to the LT-432, who's placed top in XP despite being bottom tiered 10s over 8s. Having a look at the detailed report, quite a profitable game here for Phantom Yamato. Sorry, KillerJuliet. I always knew him as Phantom. He's still called Phantom in Discord. So anyway, so quite profitable as you'd like to expect from a Tier 8 premium tank. It did have a platoon bonus as well. In this case, it's a 10% bonus to the credits for playing in a platoon. So that's helpful. It was a bit of a consumable spill here. What might that have been caused by? Possibly a directive. A directive involved in the mix here, but broadly speaking, not much of an ammo bill because he didn't really shoot all that much. Bit of a repair bill, but it's a light tank. They only have small repair bills anyway. For a tidy, let's take the platoon out of the equation for a second there. 60,000 credit profit, so very well done there. So thanks very much for sending this one in, Killer Juliet. And if anyone else has got a replay that you'd like to share with the community, be it a personal campaign mission completion with honours, or just a really tight game, or an ace mastery, whatever you like, have a look at our YouTube channel about section for community submission guidelines, and hopefully we'll get a chance to feature on the channel. In the meantime, take care out there.